Alright, so this is chapter 7.5, solving right triangles. The learning goal is, by the end of the class, you should be able to solve a right triangle using trig ratios and solve word problems as well. Now, let's talk about slope angles. Now, if you have the Cartesian plane and you have your x and y axis, if you have a line, that line has a slope. And so at what angle is that line sloped at? That's what the slope angle is. So this is theta. The angle the x-axis and the line make. Now in this case it's going counterclockwise, so this is an angle of inclination. And angle of inclinations are positive angles. Now we can take a look at if the line comes down this way, the x-axis and the line make an angle here. This is an angle of declination, and it's going clockwise from the x-axis, and these are negative angles. It has a negative slope, so it's going to have a negative angle here. This is a positive slope here, so it's going to have a positive angle. Now you think about it, this is 0 degrees, this is 90 degrees, this is 180 degrees, and this is 270 degrees. And back here we got the 360. So here this is more like 30 some degrees. Okay, so here it says example number 1, solve triangle ABC. When I tell you to solve a triangle, I want you to find basically everything. Find all sides and angles. So let's have an example here. So if I draw a triangle here and I label it A, B, and C, how we label triangles is across this vertex A, across right here, we label it little a. Across vertex B is little b. Across vertex C is little c. So that's how you label the sides. And this is 12, and this one will make it equal to 8. So now I want you to solve this triangle, so you have to basically find all the angles, find all the sides. Now let's try to find an angle first, and we'll find angle B first. So let's take a look. So if I choose angle B, this side right here is my adjacent, this side over here is my hypotenuse, so that is ca. So cosine of angle B is equal to A over H, so 8 over 12. And what I need to do is inverse cos, so B equals cos of -1, 8 over 12. Angle B is equal to 48.19. Now for angle A, am I going to do all that work? No, I don't need to do all that work because I already have 2 angles. I just need to find the third one. And in this case, it's a right triangle, so angle BA is equal to 90 degrees minus 48.19. And that gives you an answer of 41.81 degrees. And now I just have to find side B. In order to find side B, I can do it 2 ways. I can either use Pythagorean theorem or I can use SOHCAHTOA. So let's do it both ways. If I were to do it using the Pythagorean theorem, it would be 8 squared plus b squared equals to 12 squared. B squared equals to 12 squared minus 8 squared. And then you got b squared is equal to, alright, so this is 80. So b is square root both sides, so b equals 8.94. Now let's try the other way. Actually, let's not. Okay, so here's a word problem. It says Tom looks up to a tree and measures the angle of elevation to be 20 degrees when he is 60 meters away from the base of the tree. How tall is the tree? So that's interesting. You can calculate the height of the tree by just knowing the angle of elevation to the tree and how far away you are. Now, what you basically need to do is just draw the objects that you have. So you have a tree, and you have the ground. Tom is here, and he's looking up at an angle of elevation of 20 degrees. And he is 60 meters away. So now it's asking you to find the height of the tree, which is x. So this is a right triangle that you can use SOHCAHTOA for. So here's the angle. Right across is your opposite, and right underneath is your adjacent. So this is tan. So tan 20 is equal to x over 60. And you cross multiply, so you get 60, 10, 20. So x is equal to 21.84 meters. Alright, so let's try example number 3 here. Why don't you pause it and then write it down and then try it yourself and see if you could actually get the right answer. Alright, so now Tom is on top of a cliff. And he measures the angle of depression this time to be 35 degrees to both. And the cliff is 40 meters high. Alright, so again, pause it, try it yourself. But basically you have to draw the objects. So you have your cliff, you got your water, and you got your boat. Now Tom is up here, he's looking at down to the boat. But remember, I always told you, you need to draw in the line of sight. So this is, if Tom looks directly across, then this is where he will be looking at. But if he looks at an angle downwards of 35 degrees, then he'll be looking at the boat. Now you could work with this upper triangle here, but I usually like to move that angle down to the bottom, and that's because you have your Z pattern, your alternate angles, so this bottom angle is also actually 35 degrees. And so now you have this angle right here, this triangle right here, with 40 meters high cliff. So choose your angle. This is your opposite. Right down here is your adjacent. So this is going to be tan again. Now, tan 35 is equal to x over 40 opposite over adjacent, which I'll call x. So in this case, you switch these, so x equals to 40 over tan 35, and the final answer for that will be 57.13. So x is about 57.13 meters. Alright, so here's example number 4, and you have to make use of these slope angles here. What you want to do is you want to sketch your lines. So start at -2, and then it's a positive slope, so it's something like this. Now, let's think about it. It says that the slope is 3 over 4. What does that mean? Well, if I draw a slope triangle, a rate triangle, that means it's 3 over 4. So it's your rising 3 and your run is 4. So 4 over 3. And what I want to do is find the angle that the x-axis and the line is making, which is this one right here. So you can see that you have your opposite and your adjacent. So that's tan. So tan theta is equal to 3 over 4. So what can we say? Say that tan theta is actually equal to 3 over 4. Where's 3 over 4? Is the slope. So it is going to be equal to m, which is the slope. So again, theta equals to tan minus 1 of 3 over 4. So theta is equal to 36.87 degrees. Alright, why don't you try the second one, see if you can get it right. Now the second one, you have the line starting at 3 and then going down, so it's like this. And if you look at this rate triangle, it looks something like this. It's 2 over and negative 5 over, and the angle will be this one. So again, tan of the angle is equal to the slope, which is rise over run. So you go theta equals to tan minus 1 of negative 5 over 2, and so theta is equal to negative 68.2. So notice that the angle that's given is negative, and that is because it has a negative slope, and we're looking at the angle that the x-axis and the line makes this way, clockwise. So it's going to be a negative angle. Now if I were to ask you to find the angle of inclination, it'll be from the x-axis this way up. So then you would just do 180 minus 68.2, and you will get an answer of 111.8 degrees. So that's the angle of inclination, and this is angle of declination of that line.